Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could join us once again. For those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad that you all can join us today. We're going to connect with our friends over on Instagram so they can be a part of our conversation. And last but certainly not least, we're going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. Very excited about today's guest. It's a big day for her. It's pub day for her brand new book. And we're now live on Amazon Live with Cyrus Webb Presents. Excited that you guys could be joining us for the first time. If you guys are being with us on Amazon, make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You see that here in this corner or down below. You also will see the newest book by our next guest. We're excited to welcome best-selling author Kendra Elliot to our broadcast today. Kendra is celebrating her brand new book called, you guys can see it there, Her First Mistake. We're going to talk to Kendra not only about her extraordinary writing career, but what it's been like for her book after book to be able to thrill her readers, and also what led her to write the newest book. Kendra, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me here.
Look, I'm excited to have you on with us. I tell you, it was so great being able to read this book. I got a chance to get an advance copy. I know it's officially out today. How does it feel to be able to release Noelle's story to the world?
It feels really good. This has been a long time coming, and a lot of my readers know that. I was writing the previous series, and I think around book 4, maybe book 3, I started saying in the acknowledgments, oh, I think I'm going to write about a book about Noelle next. I think I'm going to write a book about Noelle next. And I kept putting it off because I felt like I think I can see a series with this woman. So when my publisher was ready for a series, I said, I've got the person for you.
Wow. You've had such an amazing career, though, Kendra. I mean, I think depending on where people have discovered you and stayed with you, I noticed even I was prepping for this, some who are just finding out about you with this book and now are going back. Have you always known that storytelling was that thing for you, that was the gift you'd been given?
No, not at all. And it honestly wasn't something I wanted to do. I absolutely hated my writing classes in high school and college. Those were, I despised them. And I didn't like my English classes either because you totally ripped the books apart trying to analyze them. But I've always been a huge reader. I've loved to read. I always had 5 or 6 books going. And one day I just decided I want to see if I can do this.
Mm-hmm. And now here you are many books later. and
Totally
I love
unexpected, very, very unexpected.
And Kendra, what's so interesting, what I love about your work is that you are not afraid of putting who we see as your protagonist in very harrowing situations. I mean, you do that from book after book. Is that kind of part of the fun for you to see where you can put them and how they find their way out of the situation?
It's a pretty common thing to use in writing suspense and actually most any other genres. You put your character where they fear the most. If you know that their big thing is claustrophobia, they're probably going to end up somewhere in a really claustrophobic situation, and they're going to have to figure out how to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I tell you, I think for me, as I have followed your work, I love the fact that you have not only the mysteries that we've come to know, but there's that family element that also kind of sneaks in, the background, the secrets. And of course, that shows up in Her First Mistake. Talk to us about that for you. Do you think that's part of the connection that you think, Kendra, that readers feel is that even though the situations may be foreign to them, they can definitely relate to the aspects of the relationships between the characters that you give us?
I love writing families into my books, especially teenagers. They are, I think, some of the most fun to write. You can do a lot of different things with them. And I think the readers really connect with the relationships I have between family members and possibly a romantic interest too. I think that's something that they really enjoy.
Yeah. And that brings us back to Her First Mistake, because with Noelle, I mean, you're able to take us back to allow us to be able to see what life was like, but also, of course, where Noelle was now. What was it about that character that made her kind of stick with you?
I wrote her just on a whim. I needed a detective character to work with my primary detective.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where she came out, but I just started writing her and she intrigued me. I could tell she was very wealthy. She was very confident. But here she is in a mid-sized Central Oregon town working nonstop as a detective when she doesn't need to work. So I wanted to know why she did that. And her coworkers were curious about her background. She didn't talk about herself very much. So I knew there was a lot of stuff there that I would have to dig into. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know until I sat down to write this book what had happened in her past.
So that's interesting. Did you know, of course, we'll talk around this, but did you know what she would discover, or was that something that kind of evolved for you as the story kind of took shape?
As the story took shape, and actually probably 3/4 the way through it, I still wasn't sure how I was going to end that book,
Okay.
what situation she was going to be in, especially in the past. I
Right.
kept going back and forth, just trying to decide what I wanted to do.
Mm. And that leads us to, again, a big part of what we're able to discover, that things are not always as they appear. People are not always as they appear, even in Noelle's life. I'm interested in that for you, Kendra. What was that like for you to kind of have this ensemble around her, but even her realizing that maybe she didn't know people as well as she thought she did?
That's one of my favorite things also, is making people look like something that they're not, and it isn't until you start digging into them that you see who they truly are. And I like to do that around my main characters. Usually my main characters have to be pretty normal, pretty logical, pretty smart people, but the people you put around them, you can take a lot of liberties with. You can make them a little bit odd, a little bit weird, and they would do things that your main characters would not do.
Right. I think that's such a great point. One of the reviews I saw, and again, as I mentioned, for those joining us live, the book officially is out today. Of course, you guys can be able to go and get it for yourself. For some of you guys, depending on, like here in Mississippi, you guys can actually order it today and probably get it tonight. So you can take advantage of that. But one of the reviews I saw, Kendra just said, "Wow." I felt that way too as I was going throughout. Like, I think as the story took shape and you're able to kind of get to know not only Noelle better, but also the events leading up to that horrific event in her past. I really definitely had those wow moments too. Is that what you already are hearing from the early reviewers as well?
I haven't looked at the reviews.
You haven't? Okay.
I am very thin-skinned when it comes to
Okay.
reviews. I
Okay.
don't look. If someone sends it directly to me, I will
Mm,
read it. But for
okay.
the most part, I don't read reviews on Amazon. I don't read the reviews on Goodreads.
Hmm.
I consider reviews to be for the buyer, for the reader, for them to make a decision if this is the right book for them.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, that brings up a great point then, Kendra. I'm glad you said that. Thank you for sharing that. I've interviewed, of course, a lot of authors over the years, and some have felt that way too. You have the other side of what I've noticed with you, especially on social media. There are a lot of your peers who look to you as an example of what is possible, but also what they can aspire to when it comes to a career. What has that been like for you to not only have readers that appreciate you, but also your fellow authors who look to you not only as an example, but also someone that they can be able to emulate?
That's really nice of you to say. But it's common, I think, in the writing world. When I first got started, I was really looked up to a lot of authors. I had people who mentored me, people who gave me a hand up here and there. And I try to do that for up and coming authors too,
Mm.
to an extent. I've had people that I've never heard of want me to promote their book like crazy. And I'm all about making relationships
Yeah.
with people before starting to look at their work and see how things are going for them.
Yeah. Love that. I want to say hello to those who are coming in, especially those of you on YouTube. I see you guys coming in. Appreciate the hearts. If you guys have any questions or comments for Kendra, put those in the chat. We're speaking with best-selling author Kendra Elliott. It's pub day for her newest book, Her First Mistake. For those joining us on the Amazon platform, and I appreciate the hearts over there as well. You guys can see it in the carousel either here on the side or down below. I want to say hello to Tierra Graves over there on IG. Hello to you, Chris. Hello to you on IG as well. We're going to also let you guys know how to stay connected with Kendra and her schedule too with the new release. I want to go back to Noelle's story and her first mistake, because I think what is great too about the way it's written, as far as me as a reader, Kendra, and I'm interested in your thoughts. If people are just starting with you, I think this is a great book to start. I think that they would definitely, of course, probably find interest in being able to know some of the other characters. Is that kind of your intent, to kind of have it be a standalone, even though it will be a part of the series?
So I've written a lot of series, but I try to write every single book in every single series. I try to write it so anyone can pick up that book and not be lost.
Yeah.
My readers tell me they like to read the books in order just so they can follow the history of the characters.
Mm.
But a first book in a series, any of my series, is a really good place to start. And I love writing these interconnecting series.
Got
These
you.
characters pop up in multiple series. That's my absolute favorite thing to do. And my readers tell me that they love that too.
Ah. So then what, I mean, did you have the plan of having some of your beloved characters show up in this one, or it just felt like the way the story flowed with this one?
I didn't plan it.
Okay.
People are always begging me to write more Mercy Kilpatrick.
Okay.
And since this Noelle lives in the same world,
Yeah.
and so it's natural to bring her in and to bring in people that my readers already know.
Yeah. Love that.
And I love writing them.
Yeah.
I know who they are.
Yeah. I think the last thing I want to talk to you about that I felt like with Noelle in this book, and this is not spoiling anything, but I think it goes to a bigger point of what I've seen in other books, is that we're kind of better able to understand Noelle's why in life today, it seems like. I think, knowing the past of the events that she's gone through and what she's kind of had to deal with, why she is someone who is looking for justice for others and wants to be a part of being seen as one of the good ones, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that is something to me that's so relatable, Kendra, because I think all of us, even if we've made mistakes in life, or there may be shadows around us, we try to be the best of ourselves, or at least try to do things to atone in some ways, even for mistakes. And I love the way that this book kind of helps you understand that that's something that, whether she knew she was doing it or not, I think that is one of the cool things about it. So I know you say when you were talking with the publisher that you knew the series you wanted to do. So for yourself, do you kind of already know where you want to take her next?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
missed the last part.
Yeah, no problem. Do you already know where you want to take Noelle next?
So I just turned in the second book in the series.
Okay.
That is finished.
Okay.
And I've got a few ideas spinning around about what I will do for the third book.
Okay.
I even had a reader chime in. She emailed me telling me what she thought I should do in the next book. She actually has some good ideas. I get that occasionally. People really want to see certain characters return or have interactions between certain characters. But yeah, I have an idea of where things are going to go with her.
Awesome. Well, in the meantime, our audience can be able to enjoy the book that is out now, Her First Mistake, the newest book by Kendra Elliot. You guys can get it here on Amazon. It's a great read. It moves so quickly, Kendra, and I love the fact it is so immersive, not only in the characters, but also bringing you into that world that you've been able to create. Let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you?
I missed that one too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, let our audience know how they can stay connected with you, Kendra.
Oh, KendraElliot.com. You'll also find me on Facebook. That's pretty much the main social media that I do.
Got you. All right. Well, congratulations again to you, Kendra. Looking forward to our next chat together.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
Glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll speak to you soon. Take care.